Hello, I'm Reggie Martin. I'm the lead volunteer on a wonderful project that we're working on in the city of Kingsport called the Kingsport Carousel Project. We wanted to update you today on the progress of our project. We're working on 35 hand-carved animals for the carousel. We have 3 animals completely finished now. You might see one of them, the horse Liberty, is in the lobby of the Eastman Credit Union building on Lincoln and Wilcox Street. We also have a Bays Mountain Hollow log, which is on display at the Bank of Tennessee lobby on Center Street. So go by and look at those. Those are 2 examples of our finished products. We also have a 3rd finished product to my right here, which is a horse named Brenton that was carved by local carver Ted Heilig and finished by Suzanne Justice, one of our local artists. As I said, we're doing 35 animals. We'll also do 2 chariots for the carousel. We have probably 60 volunteers involved in our project right now. About 25 of those are carvers, the rest are painters who are just beginning to paint our animals. And you can see behind me some of the animals that we have just started painting. And those will be finished over the coming weeks. And we will display those around town to show you our progress on an up close and personal basis. As I said, we have about 60 volunteers involved in our project now. These volunteers worked over 14,000 hours last year. For those of you who do this kind of calculation, that's over 7 man years in the project. And we're still very excited. We have carvers down here every day that work all day long. We have started right now about 23 animals of our 35. Most of the ones that are not started right now will be done as a 2nd animal by current carvers. We have painters, as I mentioned, just beginning to paint the animals. We have probably 25 painters who are involved right now. Another part of the project that we'll be working on very soon, in fact we have just issued a call for artists, is for the rounding boards that will be on the carousel. Now these are 24 original pieces of art that will be located at the top and outside of the carousel. And as you approach the carousel, these will be very evident to you. These will be 25 original art pieces that will talk to the history and the scenes of Kingsport. On the carousel itself, we will have 30 or 32 animals, such as you see behind me here. We will also have 2 chariots, which will accommodate at least 2 people per chariot. So from 34 to 36 people at a time. Now, seated. Now, you always have some parents or grandparents that want to stand and, hold the animal as their grandchild or child rides the animal. So we could have a number of other riders who are not seated on the carousel at the same time. And we've actually been carving animals for about 2 years now. We anticipate having all of the platform animals carved by the 1st of March 2013. That will give us a 2 or 3 month time to get our frame assembled and all the insurance inspections and so forth done for a grand opening in June of 2013. And that's another major part of this project, is raising money and building the building for the carousel. And that building will be located on the Clinchfield side of the Farmers Market building downtown Kingsport. This carousel should be around for 100 years for Kingsport people to enjoy, not only the children but also the parents and grandparents, because this is truly a work of art, as you will see as we finish these animals. And we've had people from all walks of life to come in and help us on a volunteer basis to carve animals. We've got people who are now volunteering to paint the animals, again from all walks of life. We've got people located in Kingsport who are volunteering. We've got people from Bristol, Tennessee that come down and carve with us every day. We've got people from out in Sullivan County that also come in. And what we're doing is building a legacy for the city of Kingsport. And this will truly be a wonderful, wonderful gift for the city. And not only for the city of Kingsport, but for the surrounding region as well.
Hi, I'm Jim Wells, and this is Jim Fleming, my high school coach, and I guess my superintendent of school of Sullivan County leader too. But Jim was a principal here, athlete here, and so was I. I wasn't a principal, I was an athlete here, but we're Lynxes. That's the most important thing. So Linview High School is our school, and by doing this Lynx, we're kind of bringing back our memories and the memories of Linview High School to us, but also for the alumni of Linview. So for the folks from 1948 to 1980, this will remind them that once a Lynx, always a Lynx. So the cat will represent, I think, one of the greatest things that we've been involved with was the carousel program. And thanks to our city and thanks to the community, it's going to be coming alive very, very soon. We're glad to be part of it.
Hi, I'm Valerie Yo. I'm an alderman for the city of Kingsport. And how I got involved in this process was my husband, the late Gail Yo, about 4 years ago, started talking about how Kingsport needed a carousel. I couldn't imagine the complexity of trying to get a carousel for a town this size and getting that much people, many people involved, and I mean, it was beyond my comprehension. And he kept pushing it, and he got on the computer, and the first thing that he found was Bud Ellis, who had the Horsing Around carving studio down in Soddy Daisy. Gail started a conversation with Bud online and on the phone, and they started talking about Bud coming up and telling people about a carousel project. I think the first thing that happened was that Bud did come up and speak to the Kiwanis Club, and people got enthusiastic about it. I was still telling him it was a crazy idea and it couldn't come to fruition. And he was smart enough to get people involved that carried it forth. He died 2 years ago in March, in April actually, went to the hospital in January, but he got Reggie Martin to spearhead, and that was the smartest thing he did about this project because Reggie has worked tirelessly for 2 years on it. But I got started a year ago. I was determined to do something in Gail's memory as well as entertain myself now that I was retired. I've never carved anything. I was an art major in college, but I never did three-dimensional work. So I went to the Horsing Around carving studio for the first week. Mainly, they teach you some rudimentary things. They show you how to get started. And a lot of people that go to that school go back and forth. I went 1 week, 5 days, and came back here and learned everything else here. Now you don't have to go there. You can come here and learn it all. You start out with the head. You do make the head first, and you carve the head. By the time you've gotten that much time in, you assume that you'll probably go ahead and finish. The neck is the second part. Then you do the legs separately, the tail separately, and the body's last. I decided first to put vines and flowers on the horse, and I got a book on how to carve morning glories. So that's why they've got morning glories. That's why her name is Morning Glory. These are actually carved out of a different wood that doesn't fur when you sand it. This is tupelo. The rest of the horse is in basswood. I've started carving the flowers on it and the fabric on it and thought, you know, it'd be kind of cool to have a unicorn. And I think I had a fun week trying to figure out how to carve the horn. It took a family to try to figure it out, but we finally did. I've got probably between 750 and 800 hours in Morning Glory. I started on her February the 28th of last year. She now has been pegged together. She's been bondoed, everything that you do to get them to be smooth enough to be painted. She has 3 coats of primer and been sanded between them. And at this point, I will turn her over to the artist. I got to pick out the colors, which was fun. Of course, I put the jewels in, but I'll turn her over to the artist, and I'll probably be here tonight watching what they do. And now I'm starting my second animal, which is a cat in toe shoes and a tutu. So that's the story of how I got involved, and I can't quit now.
My name is Ted Heilig. I'm one of the original 4 horsemen carvers. I've finished one horse, Brenton, which is named after my grandson in Nashville, and I'm working on a golden retriever here called Buford that I'm dedicating for my granddaughter, who's also in Nashville. Cherry Point Animal Hospital is sponsoring Buford here, excuse me, and Mountain Regions hospital, not hospital, but family practice is sponsoring Brenton. It's a fun project to be working on, and we'll have more to come.
On a personal basis, this is the first animal that I've carved for the carousel. This is a small animal, and we will have 3 sizes of animals on the carousel. The small animals will be on the inside row of the carousel, a little bit larger animals on the middle row, and then our very large animals will be on the outside row of the carousel. This is the horse that I've just finished carving, and the painters have just started painting. This horse is named Woody, and Woody was named by a 3rd grade class at Roosevelt Elementary School about 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, I guess. I went over to do a show and tell with a 3rd grade class at Roosevelt, and all I had carved at that time was the head of Woody. He was unnamed at that time. But I went over and I talked to the class there and did the show and tell. And as I was ending my presentation, I told them, by the way, this horse has no name. Would you like to name my horse? And almost unanimously, the class said, Woody! So I don't know where they came up with Woody, but that stuck. So this is Woody. I've been asked a lot of times if this is like a job. It's one of the most fun jobs I've ever had, and I think any carver that you talk to in the shop here will say the same thing. We're having a lot of fun. We've truly become a family working on this project. But if we're not having fun, we'll go home, and we haven't gone home yet.
I'm Dave Stevens, and I'm working on a large frog for the carousel, and I've been working on it since last January. I chose the frog initially because I thought it'd be a smooth-skinned animal, which it was on the original design, but one of our carvers, Joe, redesigned it to have fringe around it, so it's like the horses with lots of detailed carving. I've had a lot of fun. I've learned a lot about carving because I haven't had any experience doing this type of work before. And hopefully this frog will be done by the end of the year.
Okay, I'm George Gibson, and I got involved in this project like most of the others just because it sounded like a neat thing to be doing, and it keeps you off the streets and out of trouble. But no, I chose this horse because it was simple in design, I thought, and not as detailed as some of the others, and I thought, maybe I can do that one. And I will try it and see how far I go. But it's been a tremendous amount of fun, and camaraderie that we have with the other carvers has just been outstanding, and it just seems to grow and grow, and we love being together and doing this and encouraging each other. I think that's a big part of what our shop means to us, that we come by and work 2 or 3 hours or all day or whatever you want to do, but you get from that, you get ideas from the other carvers, see how they're doing things and get suggestions from them, particularly for some of the more accomplished and capable carvers. We've all benefited from their expertise and talents. But looking forward to it being finished painted, and see how it looks as the finished product ready to go on the carousel. Okay. First Tennessee Bank is the bank that I worked with for many years, and they have chosen to sponsor the animal. And when we get it finished, we're going to take it down and display it in their lobby for a period of time, however long they want to put up with it and however long we have between then and putting it on the carousel.
Okay. I'm Barry Hess. I have been carving ducks and birds since the early 90s. I had always wanted to do a carousel animal, and when this project came along, I did decide to volunteer. I call my horse Patriot. I'm going to have a modified flag on it. The eagle will be painted as a bald eagle. The flag, I'll have a blue center here, white stars, be 5 stripes, red, white, red, coming across the body. Plan on painting him a buckskin color, what's remaining of the horse to be painted. On a small scale, you know, the ducks and birds, everything I was able to carve, I could hold in my hand and do. And this course is a little bit different, a little more bulky, and done different procedures as we do the parts separately and then start adding them. He's very close to being painted. I've already started putting some primer on him.
All right, my name's Joe Herbert, and my wife Wynn and I have been working on this horse for about the last year. I've been a woodworker, never done any carving before, so this was out of my comfort zone to get started. It took us quite a while to figure out that we weren't truly making firewood and we were making a horse, but so far it looks pretty good.
Of course, my name is Joe Pilkington. I'm originally from Southwest Virginia. I've lived here in Kingsport now for a little over 35 years. My background has been graphic design and illustration. Well, I've spent a lot of time over the years carving small things in wood. I also do a lot of clay sculpture, this type of thing. And I've always been fascinated with our Native American friends. So I decided that if I was going to do this, I wanted to do a tribute to the Native American Indians. So I went home, did the sketch, brought it back, and sure enough, he said, let's do the buffalo first. So I've still got another piece to do, but the buffalo is the first one. Started out to be something that we wanted to put on the carousel, and but it just kept on growing. It kept on wanting to eat more wood, so it became so big now. It really won't be on the carousel itself, but it will be displayed in the building. And it'll give an opportunity for parents to bring their kids in. I can sit 5 kids on the head and shoulders of the buffalo and 2 adults on the back. So we can get an entire family in the photo shoot. And hopefully within the next month, I'll have the other 2 legs on it and try to get some paint on it.
Well, here we are. It's Tuesday night. We're painting carousel horses. As you can see, we've got a bunch of volunteers that are awesomely working on these horses. My name is Suzanne Justice, and I have been elected the chief artist for the painting of the carousel animals for the Kingsport Carousel Project. You can see that I'm able to turn these people loose on these animals, and I'm really, really proud of how well everybody's working. Everybody's working as a team, and they're knocking it out, and I'm just truly, truly excited. Sometimes, like, you'll see this, I know that this is something that we'll end up flipping. The horse, when we finish this horse, it'll get turned upside down.
Right, so you can do that.
So we'll do this like rubber piece and everything else, so don't get too crazy. Think, oh no, I gotta pull this back. It's gonna be flipped over when we paint the other belly. Really get on the inside of the legs. And sometimes, like, if you're on this side, then it might be easier to paint the inside of the leg from the other direction, just like. Do you agree that this is moving a little quicker than you probably anticipated that it would?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that good though?
That's good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
This is great. Okay. And once you get the base coat in, we're going to go ahead and paint that mane and tail black. You're going to get some on the tack. You don't have to purposely paint the tack yet. What are we doing? We're doing good. Doing good. Usually, the first horse that was painted was carved by one of the carvers, Ted Heilig, and that is Brenton. He was the first horse painted. And it took me quite a while because I had to try to figure out the process. I'd never painted a carousel animal before, so this was all new to me. But I do a lot of painting, so that part wasn't new to me, but how to do a carousel animal was. And once I had established just the technique that I needed to do this project, my job now is to teach the rest of the volunteers how to go about painting the rest of the animals that need to be painted. So quickly I saw that just with the first group of students that I had last week, that working in a group as a team like we are, like you see tonight, it moves a lot quicker than the first horse that was painted. So I imagine that we will be able to finish these horses in 2 more painting sessions. So, and I'd say each painting session is about 2 to 3 hours. So we'll knock it out. That's kind of the neat thing there. Really pound it good, Mark. Just pound it good. Good job. You've got the awesome.
Yeah, I need to get it before it gets too dry.
Yeah, it's hard to get in there from at least this side anyway with the head.
You want a little brush?
I got gazillions of brushes.
Yeah, I have a bunch of brushes. Maybe I'm going to go on using some.
His lips may be very dark. Okay. The inside of his mouth will get painted and it will be...
Just because I'm shedding some hairs.
Yeah, so our job is to make sure that we do the best possible paint job on every one of these animals that comes through, and so far I'm really amazed at how well everybody's doing. Again, based on the fact that all these people are volunteers, it's truly amazing how well they've really just picked it up and are just taking off with it.
We're at our downtown storage location of the carousel frame. Our frame was actually a gift from the Beardsley Zoo in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful gift by the zoo to our carousel project. We're just very thankful to the people at the zoo there for giving it to us. That said, we still have a lot of restoration work to do on the frame. This old carousel was made in 1956 and has run many years since then. And it's a style of carousel that has a lot of grease fittings on it. We want to refurbish this machine to make it a greaseless machine, which will be a lot easier to maintain and to keep up. In order to do that, we need the public's help to help raise funds or to help us with funding. We think it'll take about $30,000 to restore this frame, bring it up to code, and make it a greaseless machine that will be good for another 100 years or so. You see behind me some of the decorative pieces that will be on the carousel. All of those will be sanded, cleaned, and repainted to a more Kingsport favorable set of colors, or to reflect the city of Kingsport's color scheme. In the same building, we have a number of, we have all the parts of the machine actually, and we're in the process now of cleaning all of those and beginning to replace parts on the carousel frame. We've talked about the carousel frame or the carousel machine. I thought I'd just show you some of the parts and pieces of that frame that we're working on. This to my side here is the large center pole of the carousel, and that goes in the very center of the carousel, and actually the whole carousel is suspended from that main center pole. It was a lot dirtier and greasier when we first started cleaning that. So we've cleaned it up a lot, but we still have a lot to go, and some of the parts will be replaced on that. These are called the cranks on the carousel frame. These pinion gears run in the large gear on the center pole, and as you can see, the cranks are bent, and those bends are what makes the animals go up and down. I'm sure you've heard us talk by now about the rounding boards and the paintings that we'll put on the rounding boards of the carousel here in Kingsport. These are the rounding boards, and there's 12 of those. This is a 12-section carousel machine, so it has 12 rounding boards on it. But it has spaces for 2 pieces of art on each rounding board. So our local artists will be painting 24 original paintings of Kingsport scenes that will go on the rounding boards. Okay, as we talk about the carousel, think of the carousel itself as a big umbrella or large umbrella. And the umbrella ribs are replaced by what we call sweeps of the carousel. And these are actually the sweeps of the carousel. I told you that there were 12 sections to this carousel, and there are 12 sweeps, 1 for each section. Now the smaller pieces up here that look very similar to the sweeps are called cross sweeps. And they actually go between the sweeps to give it more stability. These are actually what we call light boards on the carousel. And I showed you the rounding boards a moment ago. These actually are mounted under the rounding boards. They are actually stacked upside down. This part would face the floor of the carousel. And this provides a lot more decoration to the carousel, as well as a place to put lights. And there's 625 lights on our carousel. So it's going to be quite a spectacular thing once we finish it. This is the finial that goes on the very top of the carousel. We hope to refurbish it and repaint it and put it on top of our carousel. It'll add a lot of decoration. On the carousel, around the motor and the center pole that's on the inside, you have what's called inside panels. And we have 2 layers of inside panels on this carousel. This one is down next to the floor of the carousel, and its purpose is to reflect light. As the people are riding their animals, they can see the reflection in that panel. Mounted on top of this panel is this very decorative panel here, and this goes all the way up to the top of the carousel, and the cranks that we looked at a moment ago actually come through this slot in the carousel, in the panel. So a lot of decoration here. We will clean all of this and refurbish it, repaint it.
My name is Bonnie McDonald, and I work in the Cultural Arts Office as a program administrator, and it's my privilege to work with this group of volunteers. This has been a magical journey, and it has been so much fun to watch it grow, and it has grown because of the involvement of the volunteers. From the very first, we had the 4 horsemen who led the charge, went down, experienced carving school, were able to talk other folks into coming and dedicating a good chunk of their lives to participating in this. And behind me you can see some of the results of those efforts. It's really taken shape, and it's very exciting to be a part of it, and we're not done yet. We've got a lot of opportunities for people to be involved. There are more animals to be carved. There are animals for the sweeps, smaller animals that go into the rafters, as well as you can see some of the painting that is starting to take place. We have classes for painting the animals. They're on Tuesday nights from 6 to 8, and we do have a waiting list, and we'll start a new class sometime this spring. We also have an opportunity for folks to be involved in the painting of the rounding boards. And the rounding boards go at the top of the carousel, and they have scenes on them, and they will have scenes from our region. So they'll be very specific to Kingsport and our beautiful region, and we invite artists to participate in that as well. We've got 2 lead artists who will be leading that project, and if folks are interested in painting, just give us a call and we'll put you on that list and get you involved. All of this is going to take a lot of resources. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, but as you can see, it's been very rewarding for the people that are involved. And we'd like to invite the public to help us raise the barn or raise the roof, if you will, because that's a big part of what we're doing. Not only will the animals be made, the frame be repaired, but a building will be built that will give this a home and a lasting presence in our community. We have opportunities for sponsorship of animals. All of these animals need a sponsor. Luckily, several of them already have sponsors. We really thank Mountain Region Family Medicine for sponsoring. We thank First Tennessee Bank for sponsoring. And we thank Domtar for sponsoring. And we thank Cherry Point Veterinarian Hospital for sponsoring. So there's many more opportunities. If you're interested in learning more about that, just give us a call or come out to the Carousel Carving Shop and we'll be glad to talk to you about it. There are also opportunities to be involved on a lower level, a smaller level. Every donation will count and help us make this a reality. We are so thankful to Food City and their assistance in establishing the Kingsport Press Memory Fountain, and we've been selling inscribed pavers for that location. It's a beautiful fountain. It's a wonderful opportunity to honor someone special in your life or to have a paver inscribed with a loved one's name. So we encourage the community to look into that as well. And the rounding boards, all 24 of them, will also have sponsorships, and we actually have several folks have come forward to sponsor those at this time. So it's going to happen fast. We really need the community to support us, and if you'd like more information, please just give us a call. The Kingsport Carousel Carving Studio is at Linview Community Center, which is just off Lynn Garden Drive in Kingsport, Tennessee, 257 Walker Street. The studio is on the second floor, so however you enter the building, come to the second floor. They're here Monday through Friday, usually around 10 until 5, and have some late hours on Wednesday and are open on Saturday mornings.